Pamela, rescue crews across the Gulf Coast are in a race against time as hundreds, if not thousands of people remain stranded in the floodwaters from Katrina. Daring rescues like these already number in the thousands, and their work is nowhere near done. On the phone, we have Captain Bruce Jones. He's the commander of the Coast Guard Air Station in New Orleans. Good morning, Captain.
Good morning.
You've been up on these rescue missions. You've had a bird's eye view of the city of New Orleans, 80% underwater. Can you describe the scene to us?
Yeah, it's just utterly devastating to see. Nothing can prepare you for the sights we've seen in the last few days. We're focusing all of our efforts on saving the lives that we can save and assisting those we can assist right now, and not trying to focus on the devastation.
Are you going to be able to get to all the people that still need to be rescued?
Yeah, we had picked up over 500 people by helicopter as of midnight last night when I grabbed 2 hours of sleep, and between midnight and 4 a.m. we picked up another 150. We had to cease operations at 4 a.m. this morning. We'll pick it up again in another half hour when it's light. The visibility came down dramatically, and it's extremely hazardous already flying at night on night vision goggles over this wreckage of downed power lines and trees, but when the visibility came down, we had to get out of there. So for the last 2 hours, we haven't recovered anybody, but we'll be out there again in about 35 minutes.
We're just looking at video of some of these amazing rescues. Can you describe a typical scene in terms of these missions, these rescue missions, what you're seeing?
Yeah, a typical scene is to fly over a flooded area of several blocks and have 5 or 6 arms waving at you, handkerchiefs coming out of windows, fingers coming out of cracks in rooftops, and putting a rescue swimmer down to pull people out of windows or to hack holes in roofs, or to enlarge holes that victims have started to hack themselves, pulling people out of their attics where they're trapped by rising waters. In many cases, infants, pregnant women, elderly people who are becoming dehydrated quickly, ill people, injured people. Some of the hoists are very difficult because you can't simply throw an elderly, sick, or injured person into a basket. You have to really take your time and take care of them during the hoist.
And these people who are just escaping with literally the clothes on their back, sometimes not even their shoes, they've been through this horrific ordeal. What sort of emotions are these pilots encountering when the people are finally making it into these helicopters?
They're very upset. They're crying. They're in some cases dazed, and in some cases not talking at all. The ones that are injured, we just try to get them to medical care at the hospitals. Unfortunately, the hospitals are already overwhelmed. We can't take any more injured patients to the hospitals unless they're literally on death's door. So we're dropping them off at staging points around the city and hoping to get heavy aircraft airlift of medical supplies, food, and water today that we can begin distributing to these people that are staged around the city.
You mentioned that you've only had 2 hours of sleep. These missions have been going on literally nonstop. What about pilot exhaustion? Are your guys just stretched to the limit?
Yeah, well, that's our biggest concern. We're taking great efforts to make sure our crews are rotated. We fly them into what we call the bag when they've exceed their limits for the day, and then we get them into some rest areas in our building here on cots, and we let them get some sleep. We send other crews out. The first 18 hours it was Coast Guard aircraft. Now we've got assistance from many other services. We've got the U.S. Navy here. We've got the National Guard. We have some Customs aircraft. We have others coming in. We have other Coast Guard aircraft coming in from around the country and crews coming in, so we're able to get our air crews adequate rest while we proceed with these
Captain Jones, you guys have really come out as the heroes in all of this, and we do wish you well. You're watching The Early Show on CBS.